You're on the line with Jamal Meeks, former Indiana Hoosier, number 23, 1992. And I'm on the beat with Jim Cole.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry. Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, powered by Rivals here on this great Friday. Joined now by Coach Ed Schilling. Coach, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing fine. Got Todd Leary in here. We're trying to stay busy through all this craziness.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good to hear you. So,
you too.
Yes.
No, it's busy, crazy times out there, but a lot of things are keep moving. Just saw that you just picked up a gig out west, Grand Canyon. What a spot that really, they know how to make a splash, man.
Boy, they do. It's quite a situation. Jerry Colangelo, you may know him from the Phoenix Suns and USA Basketball. It's like one of the main people behind the university and has the business school there. But it's really just an exciting opportunity. And, they've got 70,000 online students and 20,000 on campus. And they got about a 7,000 seat arena, and it sells out every game that the students are there. And it's kind of a unique situation. It kind of has a feel that's kind of unique in college basketball because about half of the 7,000 are students every game. So it's quite an atmosphere, and we just think it's just a phenomenal opportunity.
It sounds like an Indiana high school tournament environment.
Absolutely, and they have kind of the students. They're called the Havocs, and if you ever look them up online, it's crazy what they do. It's they're camping out before the games, and they're all that kind of stuff. And so it's really they've really generated a tremendous amount of school spirit through the basketball program, and Jerry Colangelo really has an incredible vision there. And we're just, with Bryce Drew, we got a great situation, we think.
Well, and your ties to Indiana, of course, going back. I see you from Lebanon. You know, I used to hang out there when I was a kid. Had some friends there. A fun little town in Lebanon, small town northwest of Indianapolis.
Yes, I sure did. And I was fortunate to play for just a phenomenal high school basketball coach, Jim Rosensteel. He won about, I don't know how many games he won. I think it's like 800 wins or something like that. And but just a great coach, and really a fantastic basketball tradition there. Most people know Rick Mound is one of the greatest shooters to ever play the game, but then there's a whole bunch of others there, Brian and Steve Walker, and on and on. So it was a fun town, and it was really a basketball city. And Coach Rosensteel was there forever, and he was just a foundation for me in terms of coaching because of just the respect I had for him as a coach.
Hey, this is Todd Leary, Coach. I just wanted to. The first organized basketball that I ever played was the Lebanon Boys and Girls Club up there. I played 3 years
there
up
you
there.
Go.
My dad
Wow.
lived in Lebanon, and I played at that Boys and Girls Club for 3 years, and I still have the pictures of it. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast up there.
Well, you obviously got a great foundation because your exploits and your career is as good as it gets. So,
yeah,
man.
Well, the exploits took over the career, so I appreciate you saying that. But how much will you guys? This is what here's where I'm going to get personal on it, and I'm going to get mad at you because don't you go stealing a bunch of players out of the state of Indiana. Between you and Bryce Drew, I mean, that connection to Indiana, I can see a direct pipeline going straight out to Grand Canyon and showing those guys out there what Indiana high school basketball is about.
Well, I don't know why anybody would want to leave these Indiana winners and go to Phoenix, Arizona. What sense does that make?
Yeah, good point.
But no, you seem to migrate to the West too, man. The West is a great place to be. Yeah, you're right for those winners.
Right. Well, I had 4 years at UCLA, with Steve Alford, another Indiana guy, and that worked out pretty well. I had 3 Sweet 16s and 4 years there, and but I enjoyed it. It was just terrific. And this is, it's not far from LA. It's about a 3.5 hour drive from LA. And, I was already on the phone last night with a kid from Orange County. And, so I'm excited to, get back to the West. And like I said, it'd be nice to wear some shorts in the dead of winter.
Yeah, and talk about recruiting. I mean, it's the NCAA is making it a dead period now through, I think, the end of May, and of course it makes it more difficult. But it's the same for everybody. And how do you manage to, especially moving into a new situation? That's got to make it even more difficult from a recruiting standpoint.
It really is. I mean, it's really a bizarre thing. I was kind of gotten started a day or two ago, and I'm trying to talk to kids who've never been there, and I'm a coach who's never been there, and talking about a school. So, I mean, I'm getting asked some questions. I'm like, well, that's a great question. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I don't know. And then we're talking about, okay, how can we do a virtual tour? And now is that legal? How do you make that such that it's NCAA compliant? So, I mean, there's just a lot of issues of how do you recruit? And it's not like we're walking in with one scholarship. We may have to fill 4 or 5 scholarships. And so it's really a unique thing. I mean, you're doing pictures and, trying to figure out how can you show the campus when we've never been on campus. And so it's a kind of unique challenges.
Indiana has really been able to revamp their roster, a lot of that with in-state talent, and you were there, the impetus in the beginning of that, and really got that started, and it seems to, and that has continued, and those dividends are paying off, and the talent within this state is just always mind-boggling how year after year, the talent here is always consistently good.
Well, you're right, and I think it goes back to, Todd, what you were saying, just you're playing basketball in the boys club in Lebanon when you're in 3rd, 4th grade. I mean, the kids start playing young and they get good coaching. And then you have people in the communities around this state that really are teaching fundamentals. And, while a lot of states, they're doing a lot of other stuff. In Indiana, they're playing basketball. And so that's why I think it's such a hotbed. It has been for decades and decades. And I think it just goes to, I know growing up in Lebanon and Connorsville before that, the old guys would teach the younger guys, and you're playing at the park or you're playing in open gym, and they're taking you aside and teaching you stuff. And Rick Mountain we used to play 1-on-1 every day, full court at high noon at the Lebanon Park, but you'd have that generational pass down of we're teaching them skills, and these are things that are good for kids, but that also makes them really good players. And I think it starts young, just like you were saying, Todd.
Yeah, it's Indiana high school basketball. I mean, until people really experience it, I've got tons of friends. Actually, even when I played over in Europe, a couple of guys that I played with, I brought back over here, and they came during high school basketball season. And I mean, they were just shocked is not even the word. Like, they just couldn't believe we were at an actual high school game. And then I took them to an IU game, and they just, it's a whole different world. And so high school basketball in Indiana, I mean, obviously we love it. We're from here. We're basketball nuts, but it's exactly what you said. I mean, it's guys, it's the pass down from either, your dads or uncles or, big brothers. And but it also, in high school, like we played, in high school open gyms, we played against like Reggie Miller and Vern Fleming and guys like that. And you're like, that's, I mean, I remember just getting the crap beat out of me all the time by these guys, and we loved it. Like, you loved every second of it. And it's just, that's part of the greatness of Indiana high school basketball. But I'm telling you, there will be a lot of people follow Grand Canyon University, a lot because of Bryce Drew and a lot because of Ed Schilling. I mean, you're respected big time around here, and as a coach, I know a lot of people have followed and track Yogi Ferrell directly to you, but there's a lot more than Yogi Ferrell that came from Ed Schilling. So a lot of people will be following Grand Canyon based on you alone.
Well, thank you so much. I so appreciate you saying it. And just to talk kind of about these high school coaches and people in Indiana, I just did one of those virtual coaches clinics. I think there's 3,000 people registered. And it's interesting. I got probably 50 or 60 emails after it was over, just asking for more information. And it is staggering the number of Indiana people Indiana coaches that emailed wanting more information, and it just shows that there's such a passion by the high school coaches, and and some of them are junior high coaches. And this wasn't an Indiana thing; this was a national thing. It had nothing to do with Indiana. Yet, so many of the people that responded through an email asking for more info were Indiana coaches, and it just shows that we've got people that are passionate, and we also like our own. We like our, no matter where I've been, I'm always going to be watching Indiana high school, seeing who's winning the sectional, who's in the state finals and things like that. And it's in your blood,
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a DNA kind of thing, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's just always been there. I mean, I remember, like Todd talks about, I remember just as a fan growing up, the same for me. Last year, you were as a coach on the sideline, the talent level in the Big Ten was unbelievably crazy how deep it went. I mean, how what's it like to have to deal with that and recruit into that kind of environment to where that every 10 teams are just that good?
Wow. Those are the time that really makes your team better, because you can't take a day off. If you take a day off, you're getting beat. The Big Ten the last few years, it's been like that. One game you got a guy off, or a guy's not up to speed, man, you're taking an L. And so the pressure on each game and the focus that's required in order to win a game in the Big Ten is amazing, especially the home courts. You look at the Big Ten, the home court advantage is staggering. I mean, you have to play an excellent game to win a game on the road in the Big Ten this past few years. And but I think ultimately that's what makes players better, and that's what keeps that Big Ten going in terms of its mystique and just the quality of players, because people go to a game and you just see, boy, the competitiveness and the fire, and also the passion by the fans is something that keeps the Indiana kids home and keeps the Michigan kids home, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and you mentioned keeping the Indiana kids home, and I mentioned earlier you were a big part of really getting that turned back around. How difficult was that to get that turnaround? Because Indiana, prior to you coming on board, had gotten away from that.
Well, I think sometimes I don't think it was Tom Crean not wanting to get those players, but it's just you have a couple guys that go elsewhere, just like at the end of Coach Knight. You have a few guys that they go to a North Carolina or here or there, and it's because it's followed so much that it begins to what's going on. And I think when you get a Romeo Langford to come to Indiana now, the kids are watching, they're alert to everything going on, because high school basketball is followed so much. And at UCLA, for example, if a LA kid went to somewhere else, it didn't really matter, because it wasn't followed so closely. Indiana, those guys are looked up to, just like I looked up to the guys ahead of me at the Heineman twins when I was at Connorsville, and David Wright when I was at Lebanon in Indiana All-Star. You look up to those guys, and especially those Mr. Basketballs. When Steve Alford makes the decision to go to Indiana, these little kids in their driveway are pretending they're Steve Alford, and so it continues to perpetuate itself, and that's how you keep it going. You get a Romeo Langford, so then you get a Trace Jackson Davis, and because you get those guys, then you get the Leal and you get the Galloways that follow, and now you got the other little kids in the junior highs that are pretending they're Galloway and Leal and Trace Jackson Davis. So that's kind of the neat thing about Indiana, is if you're fortunate to get a Romeo Langford, it gets that snowball rolling down the hill.
Coach, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us. I know you're busy, probably getting ready to move and getting all that stuff together, but you've always been so gracious with us, and I really, really appreciate you.
Well, I'd love to get on the air. I'll put some flip-flops on, a T-shirt and some shorts in maybe January or February, and let's talk again.
Yeah, we'll do it, and you can make fun of us then.
Well, thanks for having me. You guys stay safe.
Coach, you stay safe. Have safe
Thanks,
travels.
Coach.
Best of luck. We look forward to talking to you in the future.
Hey, thank you. Bye-bye.
This is Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary. Indiana Sports Beat is now a part of the Rivals Network. You can go to thehoosier.com to sign up. It's free. Catch the show there each day live or at your convenience. You can also like or follow us on Facebook, follow the show's rebroadcast anywhere you podcast. If we're not on a radio station where you live, we should be. Let your local station know they need to carry Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary, or simply go to thehoosier.com.